All right, my friends, welcome to episode 79 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry, and over there is Anthony the Dev.
Yo.
How's it going, man?
Going okay.
Yeah?
Surviving.
Surviving? A little under the weather?
A little bit. Whole family's been under the weather.
Uh-oh.
So, kids have recovered.
Yeah, but the
They
parents...
always bounce back super quickly. Yeah.
Do you find that the kids get the virus at school and then bring it home to you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to that.
You're already at school.
You know what? That's a fair point. That's a fair point. It doesn't really
You
matter.
and your wife are at school all the time. I figure your immune systems are under constant bombardment.
They are. And usually we do pretty well. Sick at the end of the semester, and I get sick during the beginning of the semester. But yeah, overall we do pretty well. But this year, this academic year, I've gotten sick like 2 or 3 times. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah. That sounds like my last year.
Yeah.
There was a couple. There was a stretch last year where it just felt like I was sick for months. Like I'd recover, have a couple days of feeling okay, and then you could feel the sore throat starting or something again. Like, I guess that's what life is going to be at the moment.
Yeah, it's. I used to pride myself on not getting sick. So getting sick this academic year a couple times, my colleagues have been surprised because I usually am not sick. So, oh well.
Yeah.
But kids bring illness, or you bring illness to kids. It just all goes
Yeah.
together. We got our my wife got her booster shot for the whooping cough, the pertussis.
Nice. Yeah.
I got to go get mine, and the grandparents got to get theirs as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Congratulations. Good job.
Oh my God. I'll have to tell you off mic how it happened, but
Okay.
I blew it big time with my in-laws this weekend, and that was just probably the funniest thing I've ever done. So I can't wait to tell you. Sorry, audience, we're not going to pass that one on publicly.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is episode 79. We're going to start with a discussion of our March video game book club selection, which was Square Enix's A King's Tale, which was like a side-scrolling beat-em-up based on Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah.
And then Anthony will choose our game for this month. And then we have a bunch of news. We got some Final Fantasy 15 news, Destiny 2, Lara Croft and Tomb Raider news, Rocket League for Switch, more Guardians of the Galaxy, some Ubisoft news, and then we'll talk about games we're playing. But let's start with Zelda. And I actually had a couple more, believe it or not. But let's start with that King's Tale.
Yeah.
So it was a free game. It's still free on PSN. And it's all told probably like an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it took me probably something like that, about an hour and a half to get through the story. You beat it, and then I was like, oh, there's all these challenges that you open up. And
right.
So, I mean, there's probably a bit more gameplay there if you wanted the trophy hunt with it.
Yeah, and through your initial playthrough, how many trophies did you get?
Like 3 or 4.
Mm-hmm. Just those 3 bottom ones?
I got some random ones. I blew up a bunch of stuff with bombs at one point.
Yep, me too.
Popped a trophy. Like, I didn't check exactly, but there were a few that was just like, oh, you did this thing while playing.
Right. Yeah, I liked it. Naturally fell into maybe 6 or 7 random ones. There was something like blow up a tonberry with a bomb or something like that.
Yeah, I didn't do that, but
yeah.
I mean, stuff that I did go look at them a little bit afterwards, and I saw it was a lot of just like situational stuff.
Exactly.
If you just played, it would happen.
Yeah, imagine if I did another playthrough, I'd probably get another 2 or 3.
Yeah.
The final, I did one of the challenges. They were actually pretty fun. So there really is like a lot of replay value for a game that's free.
Yeah,
like,
I think we should talk about that. Like, I was going into this expecting, like, okay, it's a free thing that's a spin-off of Final Fantasy 15, all done in, like, 2D pixel artish brawler style. Like, I was not... my expectations were low.
Very, very low. Yeah.
And there's a lot more content here.
Yeah.
For a free thing. There's more content here in a lot of games that will charge you, like, $10.
Right. That's what I walked away with from this game as well, and thinking to myself, if I had higher expectations, would I feel differently about the game? And maybe I would, but I walked away from this thinking, that was really fun. And
which means they've probably, if anything, it's purely a marketing thing for them, and it worked out well. Like, the whole end game of this was just to feel good about something from Square Enix and Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, and it succeeded, hands down.
Well, and they did it in a smart way where it kind of, I don't know, goes through a little bit of backstory for Final Fantasy 15, more about King Regis, and the framing device is that he's telling a story for the audience. He's telling a story to Noctis, who's a kid, and it's a story about his exploits, with his friends, basically fighting demons. And every time you die, Noctis says, "That's it, they beat you," and then he says some different line every time, basically like, "No, I was just seeing if you're awake," or "No, that's not how it ended," or something like that. And there's a trophy that pops if you died 10 times, which I didn't. Turns out, but I probably got pretty close.
I do have to say, in games, I really do like the unreliable narrator.
Yeah,
like it's a fun thing to mess with, and most games that I've played that do it have fun with it sometimes,
right?
Like that. I mean, I remember playing through. He's like, "It's like, really? There were that many Flan?" He's like, "No, I was just joking with you."
Yeah, that was really funny because on the screen there were like 100 Flan. He's like, "I was just kidding," and it takes most of them away. That was really rad.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think of other games that have done it. There's a Western game that did it. I can't remember its name.
I know Bastion.
And then
Bastion. No, not really. It wasn't really unreliable.
Bastion does that. It wasn't unreliable. Dragon Age 2 is unreliable narrative. The entire game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's being told. It's being framed as Varric is telling the story of Hawk, of like who Hawk came. He came to know Hawk, and it's being told to Cassandra.
Okay.
That's the whole framing device, and they play with that numerous times while playing that game.
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a great. Again, my praise for Dragon Age 2 is high, and that's one of the main reasons, because it does interesting things with its storytelling.
So as someone who didn't really like the story in Dragon Age Inquisition, and I think part of my problem with Inquisition is I stayed in the hinterlands way, way, way too long.
Sure you did. Everyone did.
Like 20 hours, and I realized I could leave. So I never really followed through with that, but with Dragon Age 2 is a game that do you think I would like that game?
I think you'd like it from a narrative and story standpoint.
Yeah. Okay.
You have to get used to the locales and stuff they are repetitive. It was a very short turnaround to get that game out, so you can see where they cut corners on assets and content. So like you'll go into here, missions in this cave. Oh, look at all the caves use the same map.
Oh.
With doors put up in different places.
Right.
So
okay.
If you can ignore that and just be like, I like it because I really like the story.
Yeah, I could ignore a lot for
story. I like all the companions are amazing. Their stories are great. The actual story of Hawk is fantastic. The framing is really fun. And it's not saving the world.
I like that.
It's a low fantasy. You're in one city and the area around that one city, and it's not. There isn't some big bad going to destroy the world. It's all about the character Hawk.
Oh man, I really want to check that out now. I think you kind of sold me on it. That's a different story, different narrative than I'm used to.
And it's a tragedy. Like
even better.
It is actually. You finish it and you're like, oh, this was actual like tragedy. Like this is so.
Did that come out before Origins?
No, after.
Oh, okay.
Origins is the first game.
Oh, okay.
And 2 gets panned for a lot of reasons because 2 is actually quite a bit different than Origins.
Yeah.
Like how they frame things, you create the character. It's like people always got annoyed because they Mass Effected it.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're not playing a character you create, you're playing the character of Hawk.
Right.
So some people didn't like that fact. I don't know. I enjoyed it. And that's the first Dragon Age game where they use the conversation wheel.
Okay.
But back to King's Tale.
Oh yeah, sorry, we're discussing King's Tale.
But yeah, I mean, it was a neat aside because King's Tale amused me from how it framed its story.
Yeah.
Like consistently, like they used it to nice effect. It didn't overstay its welcome.
That's absolutely, and I feel like it could have, because of the side-scrolling beat 'em up like Final Fight or those kind of things, kind of did. But I felt like every level they were introducing a new enemy with a different mechanic, and then you had to like start working with all the different mechanics all at the same time. Like it really kept adding new stuff where it kept me on my toes and felt fresh, and I never got bored, and it was short. But
and that's the thing that surprised me was when you're talking about like the quality of this game for something they give out free. It's the fact that they added. It's not really a super deep game, but you said there's just every level there's new things. Like they weren't resting on their laurels of like, oh yeah, it's just a beat 'em up. They hit buttons. It's like, no, here's something new.
Yeah,
here's a new enemy. You've got to work. You can do this now or that or.
They really put some thought into it, and even with the companions, where you mash two buttons together and they bring the companion on. But as that's working, your armature is building up, and when it finally hits the full, if you do enough combos without taking any damage, you can do like this special move basically. But if you use your companions along the way as that armature is building up, then they become part of the armature as well.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Which is. I noticed it only because when I looked at the trophy list before I played, and it said use all the companions in the armature, and then I realized that if I just kept using like one, the guy, I don't remember the names, but the guy with the guns that shot sideways.
Yeah.
And then I realized he was the only one with me, and then one time I didn't use anyone and I did my armature, it was just me, and I realized, if I use everyone before I hit L1 to use the armature attack, then they all are part of that armature attack. So I thought that was really cool. It's just there's a lot to think about on its face, just like a simple side-scrolling beat 'em up.
Yeah.
The only thing that bothered me, and this is such a silly nitpick, when I play those kind of games, I want a jump button. I want to jump and like attack.
Yeah.
But that doesn't fit their attack style. So.
No, not at all. One thing that got me playing through, and this is just more, I'm like, I wish it had multiplayer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
I was like, man, I just want to... And that adds a huge amount of cost to development, so I understand why they wouldn't do it.
Right.
But this is more, I'm like, if they ever ran with this and wanted to continue it and like do a King's Tale 2 or something, man, co-op multiplayer would be awesome.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Walking into this thinking, free game, it's a short game, it's a Zelda month, so let's do something short that is, intriguing. I walked away thinking if they did like a King's Tale 2 and charged like $10 and, amped it up a little bit, I would probably buy it.
Yeah.
I like it totally that much.
I was pleasantly surprised by this, and it's free on PS4 right now, so I would tell any listener, download it. If you like side-scroller beat-em-ups, play it. You'll have a good time, and then there's a bunch of challenges after you beat it that...
like 25.
Yeah, there was a lot more than I was shocked at how many there were. So it's just content. It was like, okay.
Yeah. Well, and there's just the last trophy is basically defeating all of the challenges, which seems really daunting. But I found myself kind of getting into a flow where like I was I don't know what, like not really zoning out, but just like getting really into it and just like hitting the buttons at the right time and just like doing this really insane combos that felt really good. There's a trophy for getting the alternate ending, which when I read that I didn't know what it meant. But when you fight the final boss, you're kind of going after these different crystals, and the boss kind of takes the crystal, and the goal is to attack the crystal so that he can't get it. But I didn't know that the first time. I was just attacking the enemies around it. So he basically swallowed the crystal and the game was over. And I got the trophy for the alternate ending, which is where you lose. so I lost before I won, which was funny. I agree with you. Didn't overstay its welcome. Fun. I walked away really enjoying my time with it, which is crazy. I think it speaks to how well the game was done for such a short package that we didn't feel like... I don't know, when I was playing, I wasn't like, man, I could be playing Zelda right now, but I'm playing this game. Like, I really got into it.
I agree. I'm very happy to have played it, because I would have ignored it if we hadn't put it as a list.
Absolutely.
On our book club.
Right, and I think I say this every time. I'm glad we did this because I played a game that I probably wouldn't have played. So.
Yeah.
And now we get to choose a new game. And
I did, and I actually remembered to do this.
Thank God.
So I compared our Steam, what we had, and the game hit me on there that we had brought up a couple times, and I'm like, we should just commit to doing it now.
Oh, I think I know what you're going to say.
Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Ah, yeah, nice.
So, I mean, you had brought it up before,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I haven't played it. You haven't played it.
That's right.
So, I think that's it. Let's try that one.
Let's
And,
do it. I'll install it. Well, I'll install it as we're done recording.
Yeah.
That's a 3-hour game, something like that.
4, I believe. It's
Okay.
actually really funny. It's I was looking on how long to beat. It is 4 hours to complete the story, 4.5 for completionist.
Oh, so you're almost there when you beat it.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it doesn't have a bunch of extra. It doesn't seem. So that will be our, what are we, April now?
Yes. So it'll be the
That'll
April
be
Video
our-
Game Book Club.
Yep.
And if anyone wants to play along, we'll be doing it on Steam. I think it's also on. I don't know.
It's on PS4.
Yeah,
I know
Xbox
for sure.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In my Steam library, I have The Vanishing of Ethan Carter and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter Redux, which is like a remaster update, I guess. I'm looking at it here. I don't know.
I don't know.
We're just gonna do the base game though, right? Just a regular one,
Um,
or we can look
Sure.
and figure it out.
we can figure it out. I don't know if see if the Redux changes anything big or if it's just a minor change.
Okay, cool. Well, we'll check that out off mic and figure it out. But that is our April game, Vanishing Ethan Carter.
Right.
So now we'll jump into the news, and the first piece of news actually kind of piggybacks off of the game we played. There's some Final Fantasy 15 news. You want to take that for us?
Yeah. So, what day was this that it come out? It was
27th, which is like what was that?
Tuesday?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, well, no, Monday. It was Monday. And just out of sun, update for Final Fantasy 15. And it updated Chapter 13. To which... it's weird, because there's an alternative Chapter 13 which you can access from the main menu once you've beaten the game.
Once you beat it, exactly. And that's the...
And it's,
sorry, go ahead.
it's Gladio. It's the story of how Gladio and Ignis meet back up with Noct.
Right.
So it's cool. It adds to that. But then they also, on the Noctis side of things, did the adjustments they've been talking about to just beef up your attacks during that time with the ring, so that you can just get through that. I feel like actually, more than anything, they should just cut some of that chapter.
That's what I thought they were going to do, and I'm surprised.
Yeah,
that
they just need to
beefed you
cut
up.
out some of that because there's just so much boring corridor stuff in that.
Yeah, I really
the
hated
pacing
it.
in that chapter was horrible.
It was.
But there's that, and then I believe also the episode Gladiolus dropped
It did.
as well on Tuesday, which I should play at some point. If I wasn't playing Zelda, I probably would be playing it. But
I might wait until they're all out, but I agree
Yeah.
with you.
But so it was a week for some Final Fantasy 15 updates. I'm kind of fearful going back to that open world.
After playing
Yeah.
Horizon and Zelda?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. Nah.
because I mean, I thought it was decent, but I've seen a lot better than decent in the last month and a half. So
Yeah, and Final Fantasy 15 just seems... I mean, I enjoyed my time with it. I played 42 hours of that game, and I didn't put it down. I enjoyed getting to the end. But it just feels very disjointed, and it did then, but it feels even more so now.
yeah, it totally does. The whole game itself. What is it after chapter? When do you go to the Venice area? Is that chapter
I think it's 8 or 9, isn't it?
8? So anything before 8, I felt really like one game.
Right.
And then once you go to Venice and everything, it's a completely different game.
Right.
And clearly there's probably some time running out of time and stuff's been cut because, man, is it disjointed story-wise.
Yeah, I feel like if they had another 2 or 3 years, they would have just kept with the open world and not done the linear thing. And it would have been better. So it kind of speaks to the, I don't remember who it was, Miyamoto, delayed game is eventually good kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think I will come back to this DLC, although this particular one, the Gladio one, I don't see a lot of positive buzz right now, but it's short. I don't know. I might get the DLC pack when it's on sale or something.
Yeah.
But I like there's some topical things put into the dialogue.
Yes.
Like in this one scene, it must be Gladio not Gladio, Ignis saying it may be like moths to a flame, or it may be one of the Empire's alternative facts.
I'm
nice.
sure the translators have fun.
Yeah. Well, you heard about the Japanese translators who don't like to translate for the president?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
They have a really hard time translating it.
Well, and they also say they don't like it because they sound dumb when they're translating for him. So, interesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, I wonder why.
Yeah. Well, source material, man. Source material. So this week, I guess it was, let's see here.
The 30th.
Thursday, probably.
Yeah.
Destiny 2 was revealed, and before Thursday, the Destiny 2 trailer, there was Cade 6 in a bar talking to...
Yeah.
Did you see that one?
I saw that one. I enjoyed that one.
That was so funny.
And then I saw the full trailer.
And what did you think?
I did not like the full trailer.
Really? Why?
I actually feel like it felt really disjointed because of the Cade comedic tone.
Yeah.
It felt really flat to me.
Uh-huh.
Like when it was Cade alone in the bar,
Right.
on board, but whenever it's like the rallying of the troops and then Cade on the other side,
Right.
like it just, it's hard to mix those tones of like the humor
Right.
and like the seriousness, and I don't know what Destiny wants to be.
Yeah.
Like, and so it's not that I didn't like I like kind of the visuals of what they're showing. It's just I'm like, okay, what is the tone of the game? What are you?
Right.
Are you a serious sci-fi game, or do you want me to approach this as like
Borderlands
humorous, which I'm fine with as well. I'm just like, my head has a hard time mixing both of them together.
Yeah, and
I feel like they push Cade even further into, like, they're just like, Nathan Fillion, just be yourself.
yeah,
like,
he steals the show. Like, we
he
want
does,
more.
and they're just like, just do that.
Right.
And not even thinking of like, well, if you take how they've changed that character from when Destiny released to that trailer, Destiny 2 trailer,
Right.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Well, yeah, because they didn't. I mean, go back to vanilla Destiny with Cade 6. It's not anything like this, obviously.
No. So I'm just trying to get for me, I just have a hard time reconciling, like, okay, what is this game? So when it comes out, is this clearly everything's fallen, the citadel, the tower's down, it's like everything's screwed. Is it supposed to be super dark in that regard, and like you're clawing your way back? Is it supposed to be like you said, a Borderlands humorous take,
Right.
like a lighthearted take on this stuff happening? Like, I don't. It's hard for me to see those mixed. Like, Blizzard does it with like Warcraft and Starcraft they have, and you think Starcraft 2 even went a little bit too far into the space western comedic side of it.
Mm-hmm.
But like World of Warcraft has its humorous sides to it, but it's usually pretty like, trying to think of where they go just completely off the rails. They try to keep it weirdly humorous but dark sometimes. Like cut their humor somehow, or the humor is cutting how just dark everything else is in that game. Which is funny to say about a game that has so much color and brightness, that the Warcraft lore is really, really screwed up. So I don't know. Like, I want to see gameplay. I can't really tell from the trailer what's going to be different other than new character. You don't have your things.
Well, and people, when you get trailers like this, almost always say these things are tone pieces. They set the tone for the game.
Yeah.
And I fall in line with you. I don't know what the tone is other than the tower has fallen, and we're probably going to be like in the city and actually see, I don't know, more of a living thing.
Well, maybe?
But I like the fact that Cade 6 is there. I like the humor that he puts out.
Yeah.
The other guy, is it Zavala, the other person? I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay. I really like that seriousness too, but I don't know where this is going to land, and it's a little it's just confusing. And I think that they are trying to show people, here are the good things from the expansions we did, like we remember those things and we're going to put them into this game, and they kind of just wanted to cram everything into a trailer. That just was a little off because of that juxtaposition.
I agree.
But I'm excited about Destiny 2 because Destiny 1 I thought was really good, especially with the expansions. And it got better. Obviously the gameplay was good. The story sucked at first, but it got better. But there's no way I'm touching this until there's reviews and I get a lot of people's opinions because I got burned that first time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I agree. I'm gonna need a little bit more time to see where this one falls.
Yeah, but I mean, I expect good things, so we'll see. I mean, Diablo 3 to Diablo 3 Lord of Destruction. Oh my God, Lord of Destruction is Diablo 2. What is the expansion for Diablo 3? Wow. Okay. Well, anyway, the Diablo Ultimate Evil Edition for the console, but there was Lord of. I don't remember.
It's sitting on my. I can't reach it, but it's on my shelf. My big box.
Listeners are screaming at us right now.
Yeah.
So I think they can pull that off, where they already started to do that with the expansion. So I think that with more time, this has been in the can for a little bit, and they've been polishing it up. So we'll see it in the fall. So
okay,
we'll see. Next piece of news: Nintendo has added some stuff to Fire Emblem Heroes, which I turned on for the first time today in a couple of weeks. And it's basically quality of life changes, basically more stamina.
Oh, nice. Well, that's good.
Yeah, more stamina. So you're getting 99 instead of 50, which is good because the upper level stuff that you were doing once you had, you were leveling up and grinding.
30 stamina or something?
Exactly. So you could do like one or two things and then wait around. So that's good considering I think the hook was to buy more stamina. So they're kind of missing on money a little bit there, but this thing is still on the, I think it's in the top 30 for grossing apps.
Well, that's cool.
In the App Store, so it's still making some money for them. And Nintendo realized that the profit of Mario Run wasn't like this one because they didn't quite understand the mobile audience. Even though Mario Run is a better game, but that's my opinion, I guess.
Welcome to the mobile world.
Yeah, no, exactly. It's you got
free to play wins every time.
Right, and I think that the way the IP of Fire Emblem lends itself better to mobile than Mario, because it's not as iconic, I think, and you can do a lot with like the secondary characters, tertiary characters, whatever. So anyway, they got a new thing. I logged in today, and when I logged in today, I saw that you haven't logged in 2 weeks. When I logged in, they gave me like 35 orbs, so I had enough to like basically pull, and I got shitty pulls. So
yeah, I've pulled a bunch. 2 weeks ago. I mean, I had pulled like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm. And got nothing.
Yeah, nothing that I cared about. So I was like, starting to get discouraged.
Right.
Because I'm like, I don't need big, like 5-star things, but I was even getting like just lots of crappy 4 stars.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I don't know. I was just like,
I pulled off 3 stars today. I was like, well, glad I came back.
Yeah.
I mean, once Zelda came out, I haven't touched it, so. Or anything until the PS4 for our game of the month.
Let's see. I'm logging in. What's it going to give me? Anything?
Should give you
2 orbs, 3 orbs. Oh, I know. I already picked up.
You picked up the 20?
Oh wait, well, there's a login. So you got a bunch when they did that big like choose your. Did you do that event?
No.
There was an event where you. They did brackets, basically, a March Madness thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and there's a whole event around like choosing one of the characters, and then their army would go up against another army each day, and it would just go through. It lasted like a week.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't see anything about that.
So, like, there were so many people that did it that they had like bonuses if enough people participated, and that's how you got like. If this many people participate and do this many battles, everyone gets 20 orbs.
Oh, well, that's why I got it then. That's great. Yeah. Even though I didn't participate, I still got the thanks to people for doing all that work for me.
Yeah.
So this next piece of news is movie news, video game movie news, which usually isn't very good, but let's find out. What do you think about this?
I think it looks, like, picture-wise?
Yeah.
Spot on.
Uh-huh.
Like, holy cow. Like, this is, we should say, first pictures from the new Tomb Raider movie. So, ignore the first 2 Tomb Raider movies. Those are not theatrical, are not canon for the the movies anymore, and this is a reboot that's clearly tied to the new Tomb Raider games.
Well, she looks, I mean, pretty
She
close
looks,
to Camilla Luddington, but like the weapons and the way that she's dressed is just like Laura from that movie or that game. I mean,
yeah, she's Alicia Vikander,
right?
who, if you haven't seen Ex Machina,
I haven't.
holy crap, yeah, she's in that. She plays an android in
Okay.
that. That movie will just depress you, and audience, if you haven't seen it, like, it is not a movie you come out of feeling happy. So
This came out this year, right? Ex Machina, or was it last year?
last year.
Okay, yeah, I just saw it
It
on
has
the
Oscar Isaac's in it.
Uh-huh.
Who's Poe in Force Awakens,
Oh, okay.
and there was another dude in it that was also in Force Awakens. So, and then I think Alicia Vikander, she won an Academy Award, not for Ex Machina, but for something else. So, I was happy that she was cast in it, and then seeing pictures now, I'm like, yeah, you pull off Lara Croft. Even one of the pictures has the pickaxe.
That's the thing that sold it for me, is that detail of the pickaxe. Like I use that all the time in that game.
So I don't know. I read it's still a video game movie, so they could screw this up horribly.
Mhm.
So it looks fine, but I'll be curious when the script actually comes out. Like, where it's going to deviate from the games, and if it's going to be. Is it going to be a lot of her on the island? Because the synopsis makes it sound like they're talking about her before she goes to the island as well.
Right.
So, like, is like an hour, the first half of the movie, her not on the island? Like,
Well,
are they going to... It's very curious, like, how they're going to split this up and how Hollywood... Like, people that make movies know what to do and everything, but if this isn't a movie about her tomb raiding, that's going to be really disappointing.
Right. Yeah, I don't know what, this one and the Uncharted, I don't know what they can do. I don't know if the baggage of the video games causes these stories not to be that great, but even like Assassin's Creed, I thought could have been a lot better than it was. I mean, there's just a lot of material, right, that you can mine, and they just always seem to mine the wrong stuff or try to put it all together and do it poorly. I don't know.
They get tied up with, like, I don't know, like, trying to put I get it, they want to make their own movie and their own spin on things, but I have a feeling when things are based on other things, it's really hard to put your own spin on it.
Yeah, it's hard to iterate on something that you're not really able to iterate on very much.
Yeah.
Like if they can take, I don't know, like, so for like Uncharted, for example, or even this, like take the character and then go backwards in time and tell some sort of like dramatic story about them, almost independent of what happens in the games, that could be like a really compelling movie that gives you the backstory of later when they did the tomb raiding or whatever. Because I'm not necessarily convinced that they need to do tomb raiding or that they need to do big action sequences in Uncharted for them to be good movies, but then you get to the point where you would say that it's not really an Uncharted movie or
exactly. There's still certain things that need to, like a Tomb Raider movie. I want to see her
raiding a
finding
fucking tomb,
raiding tombs.
Right.
Like that's just part, but that's also part of the character.
Right.
So I don't know. It looks correct. Like visually, I'm like, okay, you at least are trying to match what the newer games are doing, and the whole thing. Story-wise, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. When's this supposed to be out?
I mean, they're still filming it now.
2018.
Yeah, there you go, 2018.
So a year. March 16th, 2018. So a whole year.
About a year, right.
We'll see a trailer then this fall, probably. So, yeah. It's happening, though. We get another video game movie.
Yeah, and every time we just kind of cross our fingers and hope it...
And hope.
Yeah.
And expectations keep staying low, so maybe one will be good one time.
Yep, no, I think that's possible. So speaking of things that might be possible is the next story here about Rocket League coming to Switch. Psyonix is quote-unquote evaluating whether to bring it to the Switch. And they want to know if there's demand from the community, basically, and also probably looking at like viability in terms of technical issues.
Yeah. Well, it's UE4, and there was the big push at GDC for Unreal 4 devs to bring their games to Switch. So
Once
I
Nick,
wouldn't be surprised if there's other pressures like outside like Nintendo and Epic saying, "Hey, you probably have one of the most popular Unreal 4 games on the market. Let's see if we can get that on Switch."
right? Yeah, because
And
they would
I
all make more money.
guarantee you that Epic would totally be willing to help them.
Mm-hmm. Well, because Epic makes royalties off of all the games that are sold, right? Using UE.
Yes.
So yeah, of course
Yes.
they would want more on there. And people would double dip on this game
Yeah.
because you could play it portable. I would double dip on this game, and obviously you would get some Mario Kart stuff in this game as cars because they've done that for the Xbox. They put in the Warthog. And they've done it with
Oh, that would be
PS4.
hilarious.
To have some iconic Mario Kart action. I don't know if you'd have like the character more than just like a
car.
yeah, a car, because there are no humans in this game. It's just
No,
cars.
no.
So Mario Kart is all about the character. So I wonder how that would work. But it just kind of seems like a no-brainer to me. And I was having a discussion with someone on Reddit, which is you should never fucking do that.
No, really.
But they're like they're not hard, they're not easy. It's just a port. Like there's not a lot of work to it. It's like,
Yeah.
are you fucking kidding me, dude? There's a lot of work to this.
Yeah. It's easy to do a port. It's hard to do what we always used to say, an adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can port something super quick. Like, sure, UE4, you change its target, and you're like, nope, we're going to target it. Switch, go. I guarantee you it's going to be absolute shit.
Right.
Like, it's not going to perform that well. It's not going to be optimized for the controls, the layout of the control. Like, there's so many things you have to take into consideration. So if you think of it as just like press a button, you get something, sure, you can get something really quick. It's going to be terrible.
Right. You got to optimize it for the
You
new.
need to make an adaptation of it for whatever platform you're going to, and that takes time and takes work.
Well, I hope they do it. I think there's like 29 million people who are playing Rocket League right now, and
That's
I think
so good.
there's a lot of possibility for people to want to play it on the go. So hope
And honestly, for Rocket League, it's another for Simex. That's a great. It's just another market.
yeah, they haven't been on
Do
Nintendo
they
at all.
want some more money?
Right. Yeah,
Here's some
basically.
more money.
And I think there is the cost of developing it and putting it over there. That's not free and that's not insignificant. However, it was like a $4 million investment to make the game, and they've made like $100 million or whatever on the game. Like you could
I don't think that.
invest
I think
a little bit.
that yeah, I'd be shocked if they didn't make good profit off of bringing it to Switch. There's no like the cost for doing it isn't insignificant, but I don't know, the upside, the potential for profit there is high. So
I hope Nintendo is trying to make this work in time for E3, because that would be a pretty good announcement of third-party support, and it fits right in with the third-party indie support. So,
oh yeah, that'd be a great one.
And his comment, Jeremy Dunham's one of his comments is, he's the VP over there at Psyonix, says that they're looking to see what kind of community demand there is, and people are demanding it. So I imagine that they're hearing that.
Yeah.
I made my voice heard.
Good.
Yeah, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. One game that is not coming to the Switch, apparently, right now at least, or maybe never, is Telltale's Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. That sucks. I was kind of expecting this to come to Switch, because you can play it on an Android phone, for God's sake.
Yeah, that's really weird. I don't know what their engine is, what they use.
It's a custom one, yeah.
So they just haven't done it. But you would hope. I mean, these would be great to do for Switch, just because these would be great on the go.
Yeah, I mean, this
They're
is a game that I
enough.
just lay in bed and play. It just seems like a pick up and play for 20 minutes and put it back down kind of game, like most of them. So,
but who knows? Maybe eventually it will happen. I feel like some of these companies, like Telltale, are doing a wait and see on the Switch.
Right.
So it's cool though. I'm interested in this one. I like Guardians. It's funny.
Yeah, and I'm fine with a different voice crew. I mean, it's not anyone from the movies.
Of course it's not.
So
They would
obviously,
have charged so much money.
yeah, that would have been a lot of high cost. I'm kind
Oh,
of
and they're
looking at some of
also,
the
busy, filming other things.
right. Well, the visuals are interesting because they don't quite look like a normal Telltale game. They kind of look a little bit more cartoonized, or
Yeah.
I don't know, 3D something or other, 3D modeled, I guess.
Yeah, they definitely went with a more cartoonish look.
Well, and do you know
Comic booky.
yeah, exactly. And the framing device for this is apparently there are 5 seasons, right? No,
Okay.
seasons, 5 episodes,
5 episodes.
and there are 5 characters. So
I
each
see.
episode is one character, which I wonder how that's going to work.
Yeah.
How is a Groot episode going to work? Groot, I am Groot, Groot.
I am Groot.
But I'm excited for this. It comes out in April. I kind of want to wait to see if they really aren't going to put it on Switch. So we'll see. But
Yeah, I could see them later. If they do want to put it on Switch, they'll just do a bundle of all of it together.
Right, when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Okay, last piece of news is
Totally
another game that I play, which I feel like this is just like a under the radar gem from 2016, Watch Dogs 2. People slept on it because the first game kind of sucked. But they are basically changing their DLC roadmap a little bit, where there's some multiplayer DLC that was originally going to be part of their No Compromise DLC package. I guess I don't really know what the DLC pack is all about because I didn't buy the season pass. But they're taking the multiplayer out and just making it free for everybody. So you can basically do eventually 4 players just roaming together, doing missions and things like that together in the game, as opposed to just trying to hack each other and attack each other.
Yeah,
but actually working.
That sounds awesome.
It really does. Like if there is a time for you to get into this game, sometime down the road, that'd be a fun thing to do together.
I'm actually wondering if there'll be a sale when that one comes out.
Probably.
So that people will get it so they can play together. Like, I would not be surprised or shocked if there's a big sale on it at that point.
Well, it kind of speaks to something that I feel like Ubisoft is doing really well. Like, they put out a game and it kind of gets mixed reviews. Although I thought this one got pretty good reviews. But even thinking like Rainbow Six Siege or even For Honor and The Division, they kind of they gave it legs later in its life. Like Rainbow Six Siege started off kind of slow, and then really it's a super popular, super competitive scene now because of the support they gave it post launch. So they weren't shaken by like the kind of negative press that it got or the negative reviews or whatever, and they just gained more players. And I don't know if that's kind of something similar they're doing here, where it drives up interest in the game because of giving away free stuff obviously gets people's attention, and people who kind of slept on it before but have heard that it was a pretty good game might jump in because of a sale, as you said, along with a bunch of this free stuff. But for April, the calendar shows they're going to get some new PvP maps, some more multiplayer races, an armored truck feature, which I don't know what that means, but that sounds rad. But oddly enough, my favorite thing is the paintball rifle. I played this game as non-lethal as possible. I didn't like to shoot people. I like to stun them and kind of sneak around them. So to have more non-lethal stuff, there's a bunch of non-lethal things coming out. And then for the No Compromise DLC, they're adding a new operation, like a Moscow mission, time trials, I don't know, police, firemen, paramedic. Oh, those are clothing sets. So a lot more cosmetic stuff and then more non-lethal items. And then May, a lot more PvP multiplayer support. And then in June, you get the 4 players exploring the city together and doing stuff. And Xbox gets it, I guess, a month later than PS4 for the which one? The No Compromise DLC. But there's a lot coming to a game that came out last November, and by all rights, it's there is a multiplayer component, but it's really a single player game for the most part that's still getting content, and I hope people play it. I hope this gets people interested in the game because it really was a game from 2016 that really a lot more people should have played.
It's seeming like it. I appreciate that Ubisoft clearly they're adjusting their plans as they need to, but they're also not just being like, well, I guess it's not doing as well as we expected. Let's just throw in the towel and do something else.
Yeah, and that's something
they're at least supporting their game through what this came out in When did this come out? In the fall?
Yeah, coming in the fall, like November, I think.
So they're at least going to support it through this year,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Well, and that makes people feel not burned. Like, okay,
Exactly.
I want to play your Assassin's Creed game, but no one else liked to, so you're not going to support it anymore. Like, they supported Syndicate pretty well, and it's a game that not a lot of people bought, which also sucks because I don't know. I'm coming to Ubisoft now in a time when a lot of people are kind of shitting on them. But I really like Syndicate. I really like Watch Dogs 2. I had a lot of fun with the beta for Ghost Recon. I don't know. They just, For Honor wasn't exactly for me, but they're doing some stuff that's really good, and I'm really looking forward to the Assassin's Creed that comes out this fall. So
yeah,
I am a fan of what they are doing.
I agree. I mean, I think overall they've been in some ways having a little bit of a slump right now, but they're approaching that gracefully,
right,
and keeping players happy with them.
Yeah, something
so that people will try their next thing still.
Right.
So,
and that's happening over at the For Honor side, where the players, I don't know if you heard about this, but they were going to boycott the game for a day because they were upset about some of the things Ubisoft was doing. So they just started making changes to the DLC, or changes to the way that they do the multiplayer, or the nerfs, or I don't know exactly what it was because I don't follow that game too closely. But they listen to the audience, and they want to do things that make the experience better, which is kind of all you can hope for, really.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome.
Yeah. So hopefully one day you'll check that out. But I mean, we have so many good games coming out, and we do, and we're playing one right now.
Yep.
So before we get to the big one, just really quickly, I played Disc Jam, which was free PSN last month. People were touting it as like the new Rocket League. It's basically like, I don't know, like frisbee football, frisbee tennis basically,
okay.
Where you're trying to throw your frisbee into their end zone, and if they throw it toward your end zone, there's a net between you guys, so you can't go on their side of the court, and then you can block their throw and then throw it at different angles, almost like air hockey, mix of air hockey and tennis and frisbee, and just the way that the perspective, you're over your shoulder, kind of at a, I don't know, isometric view. I couldn't really tell where the frisbee was coming down at, and things were just a little small. It was interesting, but I couldn't really see with precision where the frisbee was going, and I always ended up missing it. Well, not always, like half the time, and it was just a little frustrating. It was a little finicky for me. So glad to try it, but not super interesting for me. Definitely not another Rocket League. It's not easy, pick up and play, 2 minutes of fun kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other game I played was the 8-bit Bayonetta, which was kind of like the Sega April Fool's joke on Steam.
I saw that. I saw that you had played it, and then I saw it and I was like, I have no clue what the hell this is.
So basically it was Sega had posted something on April 1st with Bayonetta somehow, like a clock or whatever. But there was a link to this game, I guess. Or they posted this game, people found out about it. But anyway, it's just you play with your mouse, and it's just right click, left click. Left click is jump, you can double jump, and then right click is shoot. And you're just shooting. It's almost like a tower defense. You're shooting people coming toward you and trying to get a high score. Okay. Shooting demons and angels, and that's it. And then as you get the achievements, I got like 5 or 6 achievements. Eventually, each achievement has like a piece of a larger picture, and the larger picture is a picture of Bayonetta with a link to the website with the countdown timer, I think. So it seems like in 8 days, I think it is now, there's going to be some sort of Bayonetta announcement from Sega and Platinum. And people are guessing it's going to be PC port of 1, probably not 2, but of 1. Or, I mean, it could be a Bayonetta 3, who knows?
Yeah.
But that's good. Bayonetta is a good game. And that 8-bit thing is just hilarious. And just very simple, like super, super simple.
Oh, April Fools. Sometimes you give us good things.
Sometimes. I mean, I like the ones that are, okay, so there are some announcements of like things coming out that aren't really coming out. And that kind of sucks because some things like kind of look interesting, but this one's like here's something you can play, and it's kind of a joke, but then it announces something that really is going to happen in this year or whatever. So using it as advertising to kind of get people to see what your real announcement is kind of interesting.
Yeah. No, I got Rick and Morty season 3. Did you see that? Do you know what Rick and Morty is?
Yeah, I do. I just saw that somewhere. I was just looking at
So
it.
I got home last night. I was out most of the day. So I think so. It's been 18 months since season 2 ended.
Oh, really?
They haven't announced when season 3 actually starts, although that it's being animated and being worked on, but no date. Yeah, last night they just started streaming it on loop.
Season 3?
The opener, the half an hour opener.
Oh, wow.
It just out of nowhere, nothing. It was just Adult Swim website. April Fools was the link on there, and it was just you. It was just that episode on loop for like 4 hours.
Wow.
Out of nowhere.
So that
was the most bizarre thing. It's the best April Fools because it's something I was like, awesome. Thank you for giving me something great. And yeah, it came down at midnight. They stopped it.
Oh, so they just did it really quickly. Like
they did it. They did it. I think it was probably for half the day. But they didn't say they were doing it.
Right.
They didn't even like tweet that it was there.
Wow.
It just was like people started finding it and seeing it was there, and yeah, talk about a way to do a thing. And actually, the April Fools that I'm thinking is what they showed wasn't actually the season 3 opener.
Oh, that's hilarious. So
I wonder if season 3 is going to start and it's not going to be that episode. When it does, like I could. That the meta prank on that is huge.
Wow.
So we'll see.
And that's clever. It's not being mean. It's like giving you something interesting.
Yeah.
I appreciate those kind of April Fool's jokes.
Yeah.
What is not an April Fool's joke is this Steam key. It is 6B937ZEF8VRQYZG, and that is for Day of the Tentacle from Double Fine. So that's a point-and-click adventure game that was a follow-up to Maniac Mansion, I believe.
It was.
So not to be confused with Thimbleweed Park, which recently came out as well. So there, enjoy that. And while you're enjoying that game, we're going to talk about a game we're really enjoying.
Yeah, and I guess we should let everyone know, if you don't want to hear about Zelda, and don't want to hear about Zelda spoilers, we can say goodbye now.
That's right. This has been episode 79 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I'm at Prof Plays Games, and he's at SummerSpeak, and we're going to spoil some more Zelda now.
Hold on. All right. So.
Lay it on me.
Where have I done? I'm doing the Gerudo.
I
haven't done all of it. Big Sick. I'm trying to think. I haven't actually played the last 2 nights. So Friday night I just felt like crap, and I took NyQuil and fell asleep for like 11 hours.
Nice.
And then last night I came home late from being out at a friend's house. We had a whole get-together board game thing, and I was just tired again. So I played a little bit yesterday when I did one. This is the great thing about the game. I just did a shrine.
Yep.
I knew where a shrine was. I'm like, I got 20 minutes. Kids are here. Let's go to a shrine. Was in the Rito area. And it was a quest to. There's a little riddle on how to get the shrine to appear. So figured that out. Did one that was all using the cannon mechanic. So
the cannon mechanic. Oh, where
you put the bomb in.
Oh, got it.
Fire. Yeah, it's just a single. A single room. Yeah, it was just a single room thing where you just have to fire a cannon shot and hit a target at the end. But there's platforms moving in between you and the target, so you have to time it.
Right.
So, yeah, it was simple. It was fun though. Did that. My Terry Town.
Oh yeah.
I now have. I have to get 50 wood now. Yeah, I'm at the point I have to get 50 wood, and then I'm pretty sure I have to go find a Zora, and then I think I'm done.
A Zora with the last name of Sun somewhere.
Yeah.
I haven't found the one in. I didn't find the one in Death Mountain with the sun. Was he in the town or was he just in the mountain somewhere?
No, he's in the South Mines.
Oh, okay.
The mine where if you follow the path up the mountain, there's a mine area, and there's a bunch of them working there.
Okay. I'll have to go back because I haven't done that.
Yeah, it's one of the. There's like 6 or 7 Gorons around there.
Mm-hmm.
One of them has the last name Sun.
Right.
So, yeah, I did that. I'm really looking forward to doing the Gerudo Divine Beast.
Yeah, this is your last one, right?
Yeah.
It's interesting how kind of we did them in the opposite order. I think it's the most complex one, and I wonder if you're going to think the same or not.
Yeah, I'm curious. I remember, I was down there doing it. You were having. It took you a while to have the aha moment with it.
Yeah, it really did. Where the other ones, like I did the Rito Beast last night, the Vamido or Vamido, and that was really straightforward. Like just the tilting, like, oh yeah, I get this, and then to tilt it to the last one, it was like underneath the wing. I was like, how do I get there? And I walked outside, I could see it. I'm like, oh yeah, I just tilt it, so I go up and it goes down, and I just float to it.
Yep.
With the paraglider. So I like the power you get from Vamido. The hold B and then it shoots you up in the air. It's pretty cool.
I use that to climb a lot of mountains.
Mm-hmm. I would imagine. So I'm at the point, I've stumbled across like 2 or 3 more memories last night, and I think I have like 6 or 7 memories. Now that I've got all the beasts down, I'm going to get all the memories because I love the way they're telling the story through those memories. And it doesn't matter what order you're getting them in. And then I'm going to take down Ganon, and I know it's going to be so easy because none of these Wind Blight or Fire Blight or whatever, none of those the Ganons in the Divine Beasts have really been challenged. I haven't died to any of them, and it helps.
I haven't.
It helps that we have the Mifa's Grace at this point. Like if you die, you just get brought back to life once.
Yeah. There's that. Did you fight the Rito? Was that Windblight Ganon?
Yes, it was Windblight. Mm-hmm.
Did you fight him with the Master Sword?
I sure did.
Yeah.
That helps. That helped a lot. I really wanted to get the Master Sword before I fought one of them to see how much easier it made it, and it was super easy. I barely got hit, to be honest. It took me like 3 minutes to beat him. And that was it. I think that's the one complaint I would have about the game is that those bosses, it's harder to fight a Lionel, to be honest, than to fight.
Yeah, the Lionels are probably the hardest things in the freaking game.
Yeah.
They just wreck me still.
Yeah, me too. And I did like a major test of strength last night, and that was harder than the Ganon. Not harder in terms of like the mechanics, but just took me longer.
Yeah. I did one major test of strength. I have to be prepared for those. Like, you go through weapons fighting those.
You
so,
absolutely
like,
do.
I can't. I did one, and then I found another one this past week. But it was shortly after I had done one. I was like, no, I can't do another one right now. Like, I just do not have the equipment to do this.
Yeah, I find myself right now I have like weapons that are like 50 plus, and I kind of want to save those, but I'm like, I keep finding them. I just need to use them. So I've been just going through weapons like crazy, except for I guess the Master Sword either breaks or
it depletes.
Right, but then it
recharges over time.
Right, and then you can use it again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And it's okay against like non-Ganon things, but there are better weapons against them.
Right.
It's fine. It's a good, decent damage one-handed sword, but
it's mainly for the blighted stuff.
Yes.
So.
And Guardians. It does well against Guardians too.
Oh yeah, I use it in that major test of strength. Last night. So I probably did like 3 or 4 more shrines, just zooming around. The flight range in the Rito area, it told me to go find. This kid told me to find his dad in the flight range, so I went over there immediately. But apparently I had to talk to the mother first to trigger him being there. So I was in the flight range, going up and down, shooting all of the targets, trying to get them all without hitting the ground, which I thought was what I was supposed to do. So I somehow managed to hit every single one without touching the ground, and nothing happened. And I spent like 45 minutes doing that. And I went back and I found the mom, because I guess I figured out that I needed to talk to someone else. And when I went back, he had spawned, and I talked to him. And he's like, okay, to prove that you're someone who can help me with taking down the Divine Beast, I need you to do this flight range challenge. I'm like, oh, this would be great. I already did it once. I know how to do it now. I need you to shoot 5 within 3 minutes. I'm like, wait, what? Like, that took me 3 seconds because I had like practiced so much for no reason, basically. I thought that was pretty funny.
Oh, that is... Yeah, I enjoyed the Rito one.
I did too.
So you've done all the divine. Which
All
one
of
is
them.
your favorite?
I think the elephant one. I
Yeah, I'm
think
still.
I
That's kind of where I'm leaning. That's the
the Zora. Yeah.
Zora one. Yeah,
I think I think the Zora one's my favorite, and I think probably the Rito one is my second favorite, the one I just did,
yeah.
and then probably the Gerudo one, and then probably the Salamander one last.
Interesting.
I don't remember much about the Salamander right now, so
It was another tilting one.
yeah.
You could be. It was a 90-degree tilt though.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah, yeah. I didn't really like that one that much. I liked the Gerudo one better than that one, even though the Gerudo one was frustrating. Just because I figured out what it was, just in terms of just visualizing like a 3D space in my head and turning it in my head. I have a hard time with that anyways. So, and it really
Yeah.
asks you to do that more than the other ones because it's not like a 90-degree, it's like a 360 twist.
Interesting.
Yeah, which is why I think it was designed to be last. So, and also I realized Eventide Isle, Island, which you
Yeah.
ended up beating,
I-
right?
Yeah, this past week I did it.
I kind of wish I would have done it later because it's in that part of the map where no major story stuff happens. So you're not really, if you follow the main story, you don't really go there until much later. Like
Yeah.
going there after like 70 hours would be a lot better than going there after 20.
Oh, me having plenty of hearts, it wasn't that like so. Yeah, because I went there a couple times when I only had like 4 hearts
Uh-huh.
and got frustrated only because it was like, man, if I screw up, I just die.
Yep.
But going back when I had like 10 hearts,
Hmm.
I could afford to get hit. Like
Right.
I'm not completely reset, and I finished it one shot once I went back.
Oh.
Like I just landed, just did the whole thing,
So
killed everything on the island.
right. When I went there, it went there early, and I only had 4 hearts because I was putting everything in the stamina. So that really did make it a lot harder. But then I realized that if you drop something okay, so you're headed toward the island before it
Okay.
fades to black and takes
Yeah.
away your stuff. If you throw something on the ground, it'll be there. So I took my strongest weapon and I threw it on the beach before the blackout happened, and then when I came to or whatever, when I was naked, my sword
Yeah.
was there. So I picked up my sword and just wrecked everybody. So the first time, okay, I think I told you, I probably spent like 8 hours on that place.
Yeah.
From like Monday through Thursday, 2 hours a night. So let's say I started on Monday. When I got to the Wednesday playthrough, like toward the end of the night, I got the 2 of the balls into their places. I cut
Yeah.
the tree down and walked along the tree and put the ball in the thing in the ocean, and then I did the one up further up. The last one was the Hinox.
Yep.
So I threw a rock on the Hinox, woke him up, he came up the mountain, and I spent 45 minutes fighting him because I didn't have a lot of good weapons, right? So I get him maybe like 25% life left, and I shoot off the ball from his necklace and it falls on the ground. So the way that I'm attacking him, because I don't have many weapons left, is I'm shooting bombs at him. So I keep throwing bombs, and I see the ball in the middle, and I don't really have enough time to pick it up and then bring it to the hole before he attacks me. So I kind of leave it on the ground and keep throwing bombs at him. Throw a bomb at the ball, blow it up, shoot it off the island into the ocean, and I was screwed. Like I beat the Hinox. That was the last thing I needed to beat that. I could have beat it felt such a sense of accomplishment, and instead I had blown the ball off the island and I could not recover it. So I had to kill myself and
So
restart.
the thing with that, yeah, I actually just jumped off the mountain next to him
Mm-hmm.
while he was sleeping.
Right.
And landed on him.
Yep.
And picked up the ball.
Right. And
then ran away.
Yep.
Ran really fast.
That's how I did it when I finally beat it, which felt like a really smart way to do it. But I wished I would have beaten it when I spent so much time trying to kill him. But yeah, there was definitely a lot smarter way to do it. That's my favorite shrine still.
That was cool. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Where else did I go? I spent a lot of time in those snowy mountains,
Like Hebra?
out of Gerudo.
Oh, the Gerudo Highlands?
Yeah, I was trying to find the last tower.
Oh,
It was hidden back in there.
right. Is that the one
And-
that comes way in the bottom of the ground, like it's like the tallest tower ever?
Yeah,
Okay.
but I got there. But finding it, I went up into the snowy peaks all around there,
Mm-hmm.
and there's Lionels in there. That
Oh
was
God.
bad. There's snow, frost Lionels. Um, so I spent a lot of time, like an entire night, just wandering around in there and finding treasure chests and Korok seeds and a couple shrines, and for no real reason. I was just searching for a tower.
That happened to me last night too, where I was getting the last tower, which was the lower right hand, or I guess that would be southeast. I forget what it's called, but it's where Eventide Island is.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
saw the
yeah,
island, or I saw the. I went from the Rito Tower, whatever it's called, and I saw this one in the distance, and I went toward it. And as I kept going toward it, I kept finding shrines, kept finding hidden things. I found a couple memories. So what should have taken me like 15 minutes took me about an hour and a half.
yeah.
And it's just, I'm like, I'm gonna go to bed. I'm gonna do this last thing, and then I do
Oh
one more,
god,
and one more, and one more, and one
and
more,
one
and one
more, and
more.
one more. Yep, it is definitely a game of I'll just this one more thing. Uh, and it's still doing it to me. I think I'm around 50-ish hours in,
Yeah.
and still loving it. Every time I play it, I'm in love with it.
Well, I'm finding like a really nice resolution to the game now, where I still have, there's so much to do. I'm probably only gonna have like 50 shrines when I beat this game, and not have. I really haven't purposely like explored every single corner of one of the regions or one of the states since like the first 20 hours. So there's still a ton of stuff I haven't found yet.
Yeah,
But I'm gonna find the memories. I'm gonna use a guide actually and just figure out what region they're in, and then, or look at the picture. Obviously, the ones that I can find. Some of them are easier than others, and then the ones I don't know, like figure out what region they're in and kind of just wander around until I get them. And then once I get all
yeah,
the memories, I'm gonna warp back to the pool of resurrection or cave of resurrection or whatever it's called, where you start the whole game. And I'm just gonna storm north. I'm just gonna walk the whole way north, just kill everything in my way to get to the castle, and then just like I don't just feel very empowered at that point, just taking everything
yeah.
down. And then I imagine I'll probably beat it this week. I'm going to a conference in Oakland this weekend, so I'll take it to the plane and I'll be in the hotel with it. Got a nice battery pack.
Yeah.
It's about the size of a credit card and about an inch tall. And my Switch was at 50%, and I charged it with this battery pack. And when I was done charging it, the battery pack still had 4 bars out of 4, like energy wise. So really, it's a pretty good battery pack. And then I also got a tempered glass screen cover, which
Nice.
I usually don't do for my electronics, but this thing slides in and out of the dock enough that I just want to cover that screen.
Yeah.
And it's a really nice adhesive where when you pull it off the screen, it doesn't leave any residue.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, yeah, I can't. Right now, people where I was out last night, they were shocked that I hadn't played Andromeda.
yeah, because
And they're like, why haven't you played it? You haven't? I'm like, playing Zelda. Like, it may be one of the best games ever made. So
yeah,
that's where I'm at.
I think the thing that's crazy for me is when we talked before, you said like I'm gonna do Horizon first. I'm gonna beat it before I play Zelda. Didn't you say you were gonna do Andromeda and then Zelda?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nope.
No. I am not going to touch Andromeda until I have had my fill of Zelda.
Yeah.
And right now, I don't know. It's probably at least a few more weeks.
Yeah.
Because there's just things I like you. I want to do the memories. I want to finish Tarry Town because I've already done so much of it. I just really want to finish. Oh, and also Tarry Town. Every new person you get there adds layers to that music when you're in that town.
Really?
Like it's very minimal when it starts, but every time you add a new resident, another instrument comes into the song.
Man.
It's so layered. It's so good, and the music. I just stood there a couple nights ago and was just listening to the music in that town.
Man, such detail in that game.
Yeah, there's huge amounts of detail there. There's a couple. There's just a number of like little quests that I still want to finish. Like I don't have to do them. I bet I could once I finish the Gerudo Beast. I have the Hylian Shield. I have the Master Sword. I can probably go beat Ganon at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. How many hearts do you have?
11.
Have you upgraded your armor at all?
A couple times. I want to upgrade it more, actually. I found another fairy fountain.
Right.
The one in Rito.
Yeah, that one's like super easy to find.
Yeah, you're on the tower and you're like, oh.
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly what happened to me too.
So I do want to upgrade a couple more. I think part of the last thing I want to do is just make a bunch of money and buy a number of different armor sets that I've been seeing around.
Right. Well, you can do the infinite ruby, the infinite ruby. God damn it, I did it again. Infinite rupee, bowling game, and then get all the money you need.
What's that?
Hebra Tower.
Okay.
Go to the base. Play some bowling.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, the guy who sets it up for you, he will set up the pins for you or whatever, and then he'll walk behind the pins. Just aim at him, and then you spend $20, 20 rupees, and then you win 300 or 200, and you just do it over and over again.
Okay.
So there's one way to get money. I think they like built in these things on purpose, just to like.
Yeah, I mean, I just been fighting.
Gems.
I get a ton of money from just fighting and mining.
Right.
Because you can just sell off all the horns and stuff like that. So I mean, I have like 5,000 rupees right now.
Wow.
Like I spend them and then I play for a couple hours and sell all my crap again.
Right.
Yeah. So
where are you finding the armor? Like just in different cities?
Different cities.
Okay.
Like I'm just a completionist. I'm like, oh, I kind of want to have that one. I want to buy the ancient armor from the tech lab.
From the tech lab, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, that costs a decent chunk.
Right.
I think that was it. I still would like to get the stealth armor. Haven't bought that.
Yeah, I like the stealth armor a lot. I even upgraded that.
Yeah, so just different things. I mean, you have the Gerudo female armor.
Yep.
That was awesome.
Yeah, I like that one because it also doubles as helping you in the heat.
It does.
Which does not help you in Death Mountain, obviously.
No, because it's different.
Yeah, it's not.
I
heat,
actually thought
fire.
I was like, yeah.
Flame resistant. So I have the flame resistant. I have the cold one from Rito. I have the heat one from Gerudo. I have the stealth one. I have the Sheikah armor, whatever it is. That's the one I use the most. It has like the hood with the cape, and then it looks like a knight, basically the Sheikah knight.
Oh, really? Where'd you get that?
Hatno Village or Carico, or whatever it is. Kakariko.
Oh.
One of those two.
I wonder if that's... I probably have it then.
It was like the first shop.
Was that the stealth one?
No, it's not the stealth one. There's a Sheikah stealth one and then a Sheikah like knight one.
Okay, so yeah, I have the knight one.
Yeah, I use that. That's
the one I usually wear the most.
Yeah,
but
me
then
too.
I also have the chest that
the guardian, or not guardian, the champion.
The champion chest, so I can see HP values.
Yep, that's what I use. I use that one with the Sheikah legs, and then I forget the other one. Did you get any of the climbing one yet?
I've got the. So there's a funny story, because you're like, tell me, just from where you start, like go to the Dueling Peaks.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, cool, all right, but I'm like, I already have both shrines on Dueling Peaks.
Yeah, right.
And then I'm just running around Dueling Peaks, like everywhere, like going, "Good, where is it?" Yeah, there's a third one. There's a third goddamn shrine in there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course there is. Yeah, that took me way longer than I'd like to admit to actually find.
You were like looking up when it was actually down at that peak? Yeah.
I was looking on the backside of the mountains and going, where the hell is this thing? Like, it was...
So you got the cap out of that one.
I got the cap.
Right.
I kind of want to go find the other two, because the cap is a noticeable increase in climbing speed. You
go that island shrine next to Eventide Island. That's where the chest armor is. That's the major test of strength.
Okay, I haven't done that one yet.
Yeah, so do that one and you'll get the chest. I haven't done the third one yet, but it's northeast of the first tech lab.
Oh, interesting.
Somewhere over there.
Of the first tech lab?
Yep.
Okay.
Not Aqua.
Up in the mountains?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I want to see how fast I can go.
Yeah. So you put the armor on, and then you take like a speed stamina or a speed potion.
Yeah.
Yeah, go pretty fast.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty fun. So much to explore. But by the time we talk next time, I will have beaten Ganon. But you never know how much I'll get sidetracked.
Exactly.
65 hours, and I just took down the fourth beast.
Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing with it is, in some games I'd be like annoyed that I'm getting sidetracked. I'm never annoyed.
Mm-mm.
I'm always I'm like, yeah, I'm getting sidetracked, whatever. I'm having a great time. So.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played as many games as you have, and I don't have as extensive of knowledge of what's come before and what's been monumental. But this is the best game I've ever played, hands down. It's the best. I don't know what it knocks off.
I'm not ready to say that yet.
Yeah.
But it's in the top 5 for me for sure.
Absolutely.
And I don't. It's gonna take me anything like that. Ask me in like a year or two.
Right.
See where it falls out. Like I'll need to beat it, and I'll need time to digest it and sit on it for a bit.
And then see if you come back to it when you get to Switch or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Whew.
Yeah. So.
That's yeah. I mean, we'll keep coming back to Zelda every podcast for sure.
For the time being.
Yeah.
At least probably. I assume for a couple more weeks, and then we'll move on to other things. But
I'll go back to Horizon.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do that at some point.
Yeah. All right, my friends, that was episode 79 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am at Prof Plays Games. He is at Summer Speak. It has been our pleasure to talk at you, and we will be back next week with more news. Oh, I guess next week we'll be talking about the Scorpio news, because that's apparently coming out next week.
Okay.
So we'll see how exciting that is.
Yeah.
All right, folks, thanks so much.
All right, good night, everyone.
Talk to you next week.